If you're hearing these words right now, it's not by chance. Something inside you has been stirring, hasn't it? A quiet restlessness that you can't quite name. Maybe you've been scrolling through countless videos tonight, searching for something you can't even describe. Or perhaps you've been lying awake wondering if this is all there is. Whatever brought you here, trust that you were meant to find this message at exactly this moment in your life. You know that feeling when you're going through your days, but it's like you're watching someone else live your life? You wake up, follow the same routines, have the same conversations, and by the time your head hits the pillow, you wonder where the day actually went. It's like being stuck in a movie that keeps playing on repeat, and you're both the actor and the audience, watching yourself go through the motions without really feeling present for any of it. I want you to know something important. That disconnection you're feeling isn't a sign that something is wrong with you. It's not proof that you're broken or behind or failing at life. That restlessness, that sense that something needs to change but you don't know what, that's actually your inner wisdom trying to get your attention. It's like an alarm clock going off inside your soul, gently nudging you awake from a dream you didn't even realize you were having. Most people spend years trying to fix their external circumstances when they feel this way. They change jobs, move to new cities, start new relationships, buy new things, thinking that if they can just rearrange the pieces on the board, the game will finally make sense. But have you noticed how even when those changes happen, that underlying feeling often remains? It's like redecorating a room, but keeping all the same furniture. The colors might look different, but the space still feels familiar in ways you can't explain. Here's what nobody tells you about those moments when life feels flat or meaningless, or like you're just going through the motions. Those aren't signs that you need to completely overhaul your entire existence. They're actually signals that your awareness is expanding. You're beginning to see through patterns that used to feel normal. You're starting to question things you used to accept without thinking. That restlessness isn't a problem to solve. It's an invitation to see differently. Think about it this way. Have you ever had the experience of driving somewhere you've been 1,000 times, but suddenly you notice a building, or a tree, or a street sign that you swear was never there before? You might even slow down and stare, wondering how you missed something so obvious for so long. That's exactly what's happening in your life right now. Except instead of noticing new buildings, you're starting to see the invisible patterns that have been shaping your experience all along. The truth is, nothing external has to change for your entire world to transform. I know that might sound impossible, especially when it feels like everything around you needs to be different for you to be happy. But what if I told you that the lens through which you see your life is what actually creates your experience of it? What if the very thing you've been searching for outside yourself has been available inside you this entire time? You've probably had glimpses of this already without even realizing it. Those random moments when you're walking outside and suddenly everything looks more vivid, or when you're having a conversation with someone and you feel completely present, like time slowed down just for that exchange. Maybe it's when you're listening to music and you hear layers in a song you've heard hundreds of times before. These aren't accidents. They're previews of what becomes possible when your awareness shifts. The reason those moments feel so special is because in those instances, you're not filtering your experience through old stories or expectations or fears. You're just here, right now, seeing what's actually in front of you instead of what you think should be there. And when that happens, even the most ordinary things become extraordinary. The same room looks different. The same people feel different. The same life suddenly has depth and richness you hadn't noticed before. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people have these experiences and then immediately try to recreate them. They chase after that feeling, thinking they need to do something specific or be somewhere particular to access it again. They miss the point entirely. Those moments weren't special because of what was happening around them. They were special because of what was happening inside them. They were seeing clearly, without the usual mental noise drowning out the present moment. This is why you can feel lonely in a crowded room or peaceful in complete solitude, why you can feel grateful with very little or empty with everything you thought you wanted. Your experience isn't determined by your circumstances. It's determined by the quality of your awareness in any given moment. And awareness isn't something you have to earn or achieve or work toward. It's something you already are. You just have to remember how to access it. I know this might sound too simple, especially if you've been carrying heavy feelings for a long time, if you've been tired of chasing goals that don't fulfill you when you reach them, if you've been disconnected from people you love or lost touch with, things that used to bring you joy, if you've been wondering what the point of it all is. Those feelings aren't signs that life is meaningless. They're signs that you're ready to see life from a completely different angle. When you've been looking at something the same way for so long, it becomes invisible, like how you stop noticing the hum of the refrigerator until it suddenly stops and the silence feels loud. You've been so used to experiencing life through certain patterns of thinking and feeling that you forgot there were other ways to see. But now, something inside you is waking up to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there's more here than you've been noticing. The beautiful thing about this moment you're in right now is that you don't have to figure it all out at once. You don't need to have some massive breakthrough or life-changing realization. The shift that's already happening inside you is gentle and natural, like the way dawn slowly brightens the sky. You might not even notice it's happening until you look back and realize how different things look compared to just a few weeks or months ago. Right now, as you're listening to these words, something inside you is already changing. Your willingness to be here, to stay curious, to consider that maybe there's another way to see your life, that's already the beginning. The fact that you found this message today, that you've listened this far, that's not coincidence. That's your inner wisdom guiding you toward exactly what you need to hear at exactly the right moment. What you're experiencing right now, this pull towards something deeper, it's not random. You might have been telling yourself that you're just going through a phase, that this restlessness will pass if you just keep busy enough. But the truth is, you've outgrown the version of yourself that used to find satisfaction in things that now feel hollow. And that's not a crisis. That's growth trying to happen. You know how sometimes you'll be in the middle of a conversation and suddenly you hear yourself saying words that don't feel like they came from you? Or you'll catch your reflection in a window, and for just a split second, you don't recognize the person looking back. These aren't signs that you're losing yourself. These are signs that you're finding yourself. The real you has been quietly emerging, and the old patterns of thinking and being just don't fit anymore. Most people fight this process. They double down on what used to work, trying harder at things that used to bring them joy, forcing themselves back into relationships and routines that feel increasingly foreign. It's like trying to squeeze into clothes from 5 years ago. You might be able to make it work for a while, but it's never going to feel comfortable because you're literally not the same person who wore them before. This is why everything feels so intense right now. Why small things that never used to bother you suddenly feel overwhelming. Why you might find yourself crying at movies or songs that didn't affect you before. Why you're more sensitive to the energy of people around you. Your awareness is expanding, and with that expansion comes a heightened sensitivity to everything. You're not becoming more fragile, you're becoming more awake. Have you noticed how certain places feel different to you now? Maybe your childhood bedroom feels smaller, or your old favorite restaurant doesn't have the same atmosphere it used to. Maybe even your own home feels like it belongs to someone else some days. That's because as your inner world shifts, your relationship to your outer world shifts too. The same spaces hold different energy because you're bringing different energy to them. And the people in your life, you might be noticing things about them you never saw before. Not bad things necessarily, just true things. You might see through conversations that used to feel meaningful, and realize they're just people filling silence with words. Or you might have deeper connections with people you barely knew, because suddenly you can see past the surface level they present to the world. This can feel lonely at first, like you're speaking a different language than everyone around you, like you're seeing a movie that everyone else is missing. But what's actually happening is that you're becoming more authentic, and authenticity naturally attracts other authentic people, while revealing the places in your life where you've been accepting less than you deserve. You might start losing interest in gossip or drama that used to captivate you. You might find yourself walking away from arguments you would have engaged in before, not because you don't care, but because you can see how pointless it is to try to convince someone of something they're not ready to understand. Your energy becomes more precious to you, and you start being more selective about where you spend it. This is when people around you might say, "You've changed," and they won't always mean it as a compliment. Some people will feel threatened by your growth because it highlights areas where they've stayed stuck. But their discomfort with your evolution isn't your responsibility to manage. You're not growing to make other people feel better about their choices. You're growing because that's what your soul came here to do. The really beautiful part of this process is how your relationship with yourself starts to transform. Those harsh inner voices that used to criticize everything you did begin to quiet down. You start giving yourself permission to feel your feelings without immediately trying to fix or change them. You begin to trust your intuition in ways you never have before, even when it leads you in directions that don't make logical sense to other people. You might find yourself making choices that surprise you, saying no to invitations you would have felt obligated to accept before, saying yes to opportunities that scare you but excite you at the same time, following impulses to call old friends or take different routes home or try new things for no reason other than they feel right in the moment. Your relationship with time starts to change too. You become more present, less anxious about the future, less regretful about the past, not because you figured everything out, but because you're beginning to understand that this moment right here is the only place where life actually happens. The past exists only in your memory, the future only in your imagination, but this moment is real and alive and full of possibilities you can't see when your mind is somewhere else. Sleep might feel different. Your dreams might become more vivid or meaningful. You might wake up with insights or ideas that feel like they came from somewhere beyond your conscious mind. Your body might crave different foods or different amounts of rest. These aren't random changes. Your whole system is recalibrating to match the new frequency you're operating on. And the most profound shift of all is how you start to see the bigger picture of your life. Those difficult experiences you went through, the heartbreaks and disappointments and failures that felt so devastating at the time, you begin to see how they were actually preparing you for this moment, how they broke you open in exactly the ways you needed to be broken open to let more light in. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was a mistake. Every single thing that brought you to this point was part of a design so intricate and perfect that you couldn't see it while you were living through it. But now, from this new vantage point, you can start to glimpse the beautiful complexity of how your life has been unfolding all along. The timing of you finding this message today isn't random either. Your soul called this information into your experience because you're ready to hear it, ready to stop fighting the changes that are happening inside you and start trusting them instead, ready to let go of who you used to be so you can become who you're meant to be. So here you are, at the end of this message, but really at the beginning of something entirely new. You came here searching for something you couldn't name, and what you found was the reminder that you already contain everything you've been looking for. The shift you've been sensing isn't coming someday in the future. It's happening right now, in this very moment, as these words settle into your awareness. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, you might notice that the same room looks slightly different. The same people feel different. The same challenges that felt overwhelming yesterday might feel manageable today, not because anything external changed, but because you're seeing them through eyes that remember their own power. You're not the same person who started listening to this message, and you'll never have to be that person again. Trust what's happening inside you. Trust the quiet knowing that brought you here. Trust that every single thing in your life is about to make sense in ways you never expected. Your new eyes are already opening. Your new life is already beginning.